Yes, welcome back everybody to Altcoin Daily. My name's Austin. The cryptocurrency market is getting drained right now as we are literally watching a sea of red. Now, in today's video, I want to talk about what this means for you as a crypto holder. And just to be clear, we're not going to talk about in today's video why the cryptocurrency market is crashing. We've done that weeks ago. We've made videos on that for the last few weeks, as well as more recently in just the last few days. So if you're wondering why the crash is happening, seek those videos out. I'll leave a few links down below. But in today's video, check the timestamps like always. Let's focus on what this means to the crypto investor. As of this weekend, the crypto market has just entered extreme fear for the first time in months. Now, what does this mean, and how can we use this as investors in the crypto market? Why measure fear and greed? Why measure sentiment in the market? Well, the crypto market behavior is very emotional, meaning that crypto investors often act very emotionally. People often tend to get greedy when the market is rising, which results in FOMO, fear of missing out. Also, people often sell their coins in an irrational reaction of seeing red numbers. With our fear and greed index, we try and save you from your own emotional overreactions. So do you get what they're saying here? They're saying when the market is close to tops, that's when people get greedy, when really that's when you should be taking profits. And when markets are closer to bottoms on the way down, that's when people get scared and they start selling. That's how you go broke. In reality, what smart investors do, in fact, this is what Warren Buffett says all the time, be greedy when others are fearful. Be fearful when others are greedy, meaning that's when you should buy, when the market's on the way down, and that's when you should sell, when everybody else is greedy as the markets are going up. Extreme fear, like right now, can be a sign that investors are too worried. This could be a buying opportunity. When investors are getting too greedy, that means the market is due for a correction. Now, give me your thoughts down below on how much credence you put into a metric like this. And that's not to say that Bitcoin tomorrow can't dump another significant percent. I don't know what the Bitcoin price will do tomorrow, and neither do you. Nobody can see the future. But metrics like this, for me at least, signal that we're much closer to finding a bottom than we are to a top. And what about this? Next up, let me throw a perspective like this at you. This crypto market crash is probably the best opportunity that can happen in your lifetime if you're not a 70-plus-year-old boomer. And I would even say that 70-plus-year-old is young if you have a young mindset. But the point is this. All these people that are depressed right now because the market is down, I understand them. But for me, a crypto market crash is probably the best thing that can happen in my lifetime. The bull market is what makes you money. The bear market is what makes you generationally wealthy. And by the way, that's not to say that 90% of these altcoin projects won't fail. I think most of the altcoin projects will. But Bitcoin, Ethereum, these quality crypto projects that we're seeing the growth in, we're seeing the building and the users come in, those are the opportunity. Only 3.9% of the world owns crypto right now. Imagine when we hit 50%. And it's not going to be easy, right? If it were easy, then there wouldn't be an opportunity. And we are early if you're willing to have longer time preferences. And it's one thing to say it, but here's a chart from analyst Willy to prove it. I call this chart, we are still early. Hodling for 4 years, Bitcoin has always outperformed every other asset class. Always. Zooming out, things become clear. And here it is. Here is the price performance of Bitcoin, the rolling 4-year growth of Bitcoin versus every other asset class. And you can see that it's not even close. Even though Bitcoin has had diminishing returns, it has outpaced every other asset if you're willing to hold for at least 4 years. So if you bought in 2020 or 2021, you still have 2 to 3 more years to hold. I'm sorry, those are the rules. And looking forward, when the blue trace, that's Bitcoin's performance, when the blue trace moves into the cluster of the other assets, Bitcoin will have matured. So you can see right here that Bitcoin is getting close. This tells me, because of diminishing returns, we probably only have 1 to 2 more big bull cycles left before Bitcoin truly reaches mass adoption and we reach peak maturity. I don't know. What do you think? I truly would love to hear your take on all this. 1, 2 more cycles left? And are you willing to hodl through the downtimes? You tell me. Now, next up, I want to share with you some of those crypto projects, some of those altcoins that are implementing through the downtimes. So like always, check the timestamps down below. But just real quick, as a reminder, you can get up to $100 in crypto with Altcoin Daily for free through our partnership with FTX US. Use this QR code right here, or use code Altcoin Daily when you sign up for the FTX app, and follow the instructions to get free crypto with Altcoin Daily. Link down below. Do not forget to take advantage. And next piece of news involving Terra Luna and BTC, a continuation from our story yesterday. The Terra Luna Foundation Guard loans $1.5 billion in Bitcoin to their stablecoin UST to protect the stablecoin. So drastic times call for drastic measures. The organization's council, meaning the Luna Foundation Guard, their council, voted to lend out $750 million in Bitcoin from its reserves and another $750 million in Terra USD, their stablecoin UST, to keep the latter asset pegged to $1. So as we shared with you yesterday, UST lost its pegging to $1. It's an algorithmic stablecoin. And now the centralized company behind them, the organization, made a loan to an unnamed professional market maker to help keep the peg. The loan has been made in light of UST briefly falling below its dollar peg amid extreme volatility in the crypto markets. And by the way, this does mean they will be selling some of their Bitcoin reserves to help keep the peg to UST. Here is an exact tweet from Do Kwon. First off, the Luna Foundation Guard is not trying to exit its Bitcoin position. The goal is to have this capital in the hands of a professional market maker such that they can buy more of their stablecoin They can buy more of their stablecoin if the price falls below the peg, or they can sell their stablecoin and buy more BTC if the price goes above the peg, thus significantly strengthening the liquidity around the UST peg. So they'll buy more Bitcoin if it goes above, they'll sell their Bitcoin if it goes below, all to strengthen their stablecoin. Just FYI, this is what's happening in the market. And by the way, this was the exact reason that Terra Luna bought so much Bitcoin in the first place, for things like this. Next up, some adoption news for XRP and Bitcoin. A major Japanese e-commerce site adopts BTC and XRP payments for used cars. The development marks the first time XRP digital currency will be used on a cross-border Japanese e-commerce site. So here are the details. SBI Motor Japan, a subsidiary of SBI Africa Company, has announced that its customers can now make payments for used cars using Bitcoin and XRP. So if you buy out of country, they're saying these are the cryptos we will accept. We'd love to have you pay through them. According to the announcement by SBI on Monday, as I said, the development marks the first time XRP cryptocurrency will be deployed on a cross-border e-commerce website in Japan, and the BTC and XRP transactions will be settled on the SBI VC Trade Company, a cryptocurrency exchange owned by the SBI Group. But what this means for you, if you're a holder, is just a little bit more use on each network. SBI Motor Japan exports about 5,000 used cars annually, mostly to Africa. And according to the announcement, the move stems from the growing demand for cryptocurrencies in developing countries, particularly in Africa, where people still lack access to basic financial services. And all those people who now just have to have a cell phone can have access to Bitcoin, XRP, and can start doing e-commerce if they're buying from Japan. And next piece of historic news for DeFi altcoin Compound. Compound's enterprise arm receives an S&P credit rating in a DeFi first. So the IFI B- grade applies to Compound's treasury, a platform promising 4% yield for USDC-denominated business accounts. So the heavily respected S&P, and they are heavily respected in the traditional world, gave Compound a B-, and that's actually not that bad. It's a pretty historic for them to validate Compound like that. S&P Global Ratings, the arbiter of creditworthiness, slapped Compound Treasury, a product of Compound Prime LLC, with a B- grade, meaning that the USDC-powered yield platform ranks as speculative, but currently has the capacity to meet financial commitments. The outlook is stable, says the S&P about Compound Prime. So why is this historic? Despite the poor marks, Compound heralded the rating as a DeFi first. It appears to be the first time an institutional DeFi product, meaning Compounds, has been scored by one of the major credit ratings agencies. In a direct quote from Compound, this signals tremendous progress in the crypto industry's maturity as traditional institutions begin to judge the risks of digital asset-powered financial offerings. What is really interesting and important about this is it really does show that DeFi can be measured, weighed, and incorporated into more traditional financial risk methodologies, and additionally, also understood by traditional finance. So I think this is cool. I do think this is a win for Compound because it does show that traditional entities are giving some sort of validation to these DeFi protocols. That's bullish. All right, that is the video. My name's Austin. Like always, see you tomorrow. If I missed a piece of news, please let me know down below. I will be sure to cover tomorrow, hopefully.